Brum-bum, 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 oh yeah. Do I even have to have an introduction for this? Hello everybody. Mobius1 here. Starting what's probably been the most requested game that I play on my channel since I started talking about playing different Star Wars games. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Now, I can't imagine there are many of you who haven't at least played a little bit of this game. You maybe not have finished it. But I need to know right away. As soon as you start it, like right now, if you have not played this game yet, and you do not know why this game has won over 40 Game of the Year awards, you need to pause this video right now and comment and let me know. On that note, for those of you who have played this game, please do not post any spoilers in my comments. Many of you know I get email notifications anytime a comment is posted, and I read them. I read all the comments that everyone posts. So if anyone posts any spoilers, I will remove the comment immediately. And if it's a continued thing, I'll just ban your YouTube account from posting on any of my videos. Because, believe it or not, there are people out there who haven't played this amazing game. And in order for them to get the same amount of enjoyment out of it as the rest of us have, they cannot know the plot twist. Alright, so that being said, I'm going to click New Game. Alright, wow, that is small. And that is not what she said. I might actually reduce the resolution. Well, we'll see how it goes once we actually get in game. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk us through character creation. However, I want this to be a very interactive Let's Play series. And what I mean by that is I want, at the end of each episode that you guys watch, I want you to comment and either tell me what you... maybe not at the end of each episode, but whenever I ask, I suppose. We'll see how it works. But I want you guys to kind of drive this... this series. Really, like it's a like we're playing it together. Like you're a friend sitting in the room with me as I'm playing through the game, you know, kind of providing input as to the choices and decisions I should make. So what I'm going to do is like I said, I'm going to go through the character creation process, and I want you guys to pay attention to the different choices that I have to make. And at the end of this video, or after I'm done recording, I'm going to delete this character, and we'll start the next episode with the character that you guys want me to play as. So the reason I say that is because Knights of the Old Republic, both the first one and the second one, are based on the Dungeons & Dragons D20 system. So character creation and stats and leveling up and everything is very in-depth in these games. They're very nice role-playing games. They're very akin to like I think it was Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights. They're all pencil and paper, tabletop style games, but it's wrapped in a very nice action, I don't know, interface? Like, I don't know how to explain it. It looks like an action game. To someone who doesn't really know what the game is about, it looks like an action game, and you wouldn't know that it was a D20 role-playing game until you actually sat down and started to play it. Because all the math and all the calculations are all done behind the scenes, so you don't have to really worry about any of it. But you'll see once we start playing, all of the weapon stats, all of the armor stats, they're all based on the D20 rules. So we'll have saving throws, you'll have like critical threat ranges and different stuff like that, so it's really cool. But anyway, so we have 3 classes to choose from as the start. Obviously we can be male or female. I'm gonna stick with the male, particularly because there's romance in the Knights of the Old Republic games. So in order to, you know, roleplay in that properly, I'm gonna choose male. To each their own, but that's how I roll. So we have the soldier, we have the scout, and we have the scoundrel. Now, if anyone's have ever played the Star Wars role-playing game, you're going to be familiar with all these right off the bat, because these are taken directly from the Star Wars role-playing game. The male soldier is all about combat. The scout is kind of about survival, and scoundrel is more about like stealth and skills. So I don't particularly know what the scout excels at. I guess he's kind of like a balance between the soldier and the scoundrel. So the soldier gets a lot of feats, so you get a lot of different combat abilities, but you don't get as many skill points. Skill points would be things such as computer use, demolitions, repair, security slicing, stuff like that, whereas the scoundrel gets a lot of those. And like I said, the scout's kind of in the middle, so we're going to go with scout just for this little this video to start, and then I'll let you guys vote on which one you want to see. I'm going to hit custom character. First I'm going to do the portrait. So you have a few different faces to choose from here. This is the one that I usually go as because I feel like this one fits the character the most. But as you can see, this one's not bad. There are a lot of choices. That one's not bad either, but I'm going to go with the one that I usually choose. Alright, then attributes. So the attributes of your character apply bonuses or penalties to everything from combat to skill checks to force powers. Check each attribute to see what aspect of the gameplay it can affect. Now then, those of you familiar with Dungeons & Dragons or D20 games in general are going to be right at home with this. Those of you that aren't, well, I'll give you a brief rundown. You have strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Strength is all about brute force. It increases how much damage is done with melee weapons like vibroblades, lightsabers. Dexterity is all about your reflexes. It increases your chance to hit an enemy in combat. It also increases your defense. Constitution is like your health. The more constitution you have, the more health points you get whenever you level up. Your intelligence is how many skill points you get when you level up. Your wisdom adds points to your force pool, so the more higher wisdom you have, the more force points you have. It also is important for will saving throws. And charisma is going to help you, it also helps a Jedi with some of their force skills, but it also will help anybody with their persuasion in conversation. So it's actually really important for the main character and not very important for any of the companions that we're going to acquire along the way. So obviously, if you know you're going to play a melee combat class, you want to put a couple more points into strength than the rest of them. So the way these work, starting at 8, you'll see there's a modifier here. So each of these right now have a modifier of -1. For every 2 points you put into a stat, it increases the modifier by 1 point. So by bringing these all up to 10, we get rid of all of our negative modifiers. So now all of our stats have no modifier at all. So if we wanted a positive modifier for strength, we would have to put at least 2 more points into strength, and that gives us the +1 modifier. Though we can go more. The only problem is once you go past 14 points, it starts to take more of your remaining points per point. So to go from 14 to 15, it takes 2 points from our remaining points, and then 15 to 16 is another 2. But that would start us off with a +3 modifier. I know I'm hitting you guys with a lot of math right up front, but I want those that haven't played this game to be able to understand it. So yeah, so this would be good for like a melee combat character. Obviously we're going to want a little bit more health, maybe at least a +1 dexterity modifier, and I like to have some charisma. Wisdom is not going to be all that important for a melee combat fighter because you're going to be using your lightsaber a lot more than you would be using your force powers. But if you wanted to play more of like a force user, you may invert that. You may, instead of actually, let's leave that dex in there. Instead of doing strength, heck, we might not even need those first 2 points. You might do something more along these lines for a force user. No strength at all. A little bit more dexterity, a little less constitution, but a lot more wisdom, charisma, and intelligence. So all these things, you get to add 1 point into these every 4 levels. So that's also something to keep in mind. All right, but let's go with what I had in here originally, just for this. No, you know what? There, that's good. This is probably what I would do out of the gate for a melee combat class. Skills. Alright, so these skills, these are going to be used mostly out of combat. So computer use will allow you to slice into computer terminals. Demolitions will allow you to plant and disarm explosives, such as mines. Stealth, obviously, will let you sneak past enemies or sneak up on enemies. Awareness will allow you to detect hidden things, including enemies that are in stealth. Persuade will allow you to make different dialogue options. In conversations, they might persuade an enemy not to fight you, or persuade somebody who wants to fight you to back off, or that kind of thing. So persuade's actually really important, and I would max this out. Repair increases your ability to repair droids or broken things. Security lets you slice through locked doors, and treat injury increases the amount of vitality points that you heal yourself for whenever you use a healing ability or a healing item. So that's something else that we would want to max out. Awareness is pretty important. Security and computer use. This is probably what I would go with, but again, letting you guys drive this game, so let me know what kind of character you want to see on that, or in this build also. Obviously, you don't have to give me the exact numbers, just be like, oh, it would be really cool for you to focus on demolitions, or really cool to focus on stealth. Though I'm letting you know right now, I've never really played a stealth character in this game, so that might not be a great idea. But, hey, let me know. Feats. Feats, these are like special abilities, and depending on what class you choose, will actually determine what feats you start with. For example, we start with armor proficiency, light, and medium. I know for a fact a soldier would also start with heavy. But the way these work is I have 1 feat to choose. I could actually choose the heavy armor feat. So if I do that, now I can wear heavy armor. And these are what soldiers gain feats very quickly. I believe a soldier gains a feat every 2 levels, whereas a scout I think only gets a feat every 3, and a scoundrel only gets a feat every 4. I believe that's correct. I might be wrong on that. But a lot of these are they're like permanent stat increases. So for example, this one right here, Gearhead, this feat gives a +1 skill point bonus to repair, security, and computer use. So you get a +1 permanent bonus to those 3 skills. They have those for a couple of different things, but then you also have special combat moves. So this one is Power Attack. Power Attack adds +5 damage to the next attack, but also a -3 to hit. So it makes it harder to hit an opponent, but if you do hit your opponent, it does 5 extra damage. So there are a lot of these, including proficiency with different weapons. So right now I start with weapons proficiency melee weapons, but I could increase this to weapons focus melee weapons, which would give me a +1 attack bonus with any melee weapon. So feats are fun to play around with. This is really where your variety in character classes are going to come into play. I think a lot of you definitely want me to go for this, which is 2-weapon fighting. This feat reduces the attack penalty of a character wielding a double-bladed weapon or 2 weapons, because you can actually use 2 weapons at once. So I know a lot of people like to see that, especially for the melee combat characters, so I'm going to go ahead and choose that for this. Dead in name. I am not Milo Char. I am Mobius 1. We'll just go with Mobius. Okay. And that would be it. This would be our character. Perfect. Ended right on time with the music. Alright, but I am not going to make this character. It is up to you guys. Let me know what kind of character you want to see. I am ready for your suggestions. Alright guys, I hope you're as excited about this as I am, and I will see you in a galaxy far, far away. Thanks for watching.